Hi, welcome or welcome back to my luxury channel where I don't edit, I don't have the greatest equipment, I don't have good lighting, my thumbnails not so hot, but I love luxury and I love contemporary and I love clothing and jewelry and style and all those things. So if you like that kind of stuff and you're okay with not fancy schmancy videos, this is the place to be. However, today I am doing a completely different video. If you've been following me, you know that I have Cocoa Beans here that we've had for a little over 8 years. She was a rescue, and I got her 3 years after we had to put our Noodle Girl to sleep. She was also a mini poodle that I had almost 16 years. I had to put her to sleep. That's what we call it, euthanize. Whatever. She didn't pass on her own, so we had to make that god-awful decision. But anyway, so we got her 3 years later. And the reason I want to do this video is because I think it's extremely important for people that are contemplating getting a pet of any kind. I don't care if it's a hamster. When you take on the responsibility for a living creature, it shouldn't be a responsibility that you are willing to take on. You are supposed to love your pet like you would your own family member, your own child. And I just wanted to explain, I've had pets my whole life. I'm going to be 57 next month. And I had 2 cats growing up that lived to be 15 and 16, Muffin and Puffin, who I adored. And then when I got married, I got my dog Noodles, who lived almost to be 16. We also took care of my grandmother's cat after my grandmother passed, Sebastian, who passed away at about 15, a Persian cat, beautiful little thing. I've had pets my whole life. I had a hamster for almost 3 years that I actually had to put down because he got sick and the medication wasn't working. And yes, I brought my hamster to the vet. I had a bird that went back and forth to the vet until I never really knew what Spanky was. Oh my goodness, I forgot the name of the kind of parrot, a small parrot. He was green and gray. I forgot the name. Anyway, he passed away after several visits to the vet. So I just wanted to come here and say, a pet is not a gift. It's not a toy. It's not a novelty. It's not something you put in a box with a bow to give your child Christmas morning. It's something that needs to be thought out very, very thoroughly. Okay? You don't just get a pet because you're in the mood to have a companion for yourself. You don't just get a pet because kids want dogs and they want one and the neighbor has one and their friend has one. Especially dogs. Cats require a little less attention because they could fend for themselves. You have a litter box. You could put food down. Usually you can leave food down. It depends. I'm not saying all. That was my experience with my cats. You could leave a huge bowl of kibble on the floor and water, and they were together, 2 of them, and you could leave them for, overnight. Maybe 2 nights. Not quite, but I'm just saying cats require less attention than dogs. Dogs are like people. They have feelings. They get sad. They get scared. They get lonely. They get pissed. They need to be treated like a member of your family. You can't decide that if it becomes too difficult for you that you just give it away, give it up. If it gets sick, let me just explain. I've never had an animal that needed constant care like Cocoa Beans here. Cocoa Beans was diagnosed almost 2 years ago with diabetes. And within 4 to 6 months, if I remember correctly the time frame, her eyes, she was not able to see. She got cataracts. One was worse than the other. She developed such severe infection that they were popping out literally of her head. And the vet said, you have to remove them. You have to remove them. She's in pain. You could see she's in pain. This is not good. speaking to so many people, people were saying, well, she's already about 11 years old. We don't know for sure because she was a rescue. She's somewhere between like 11 and 13. She's, sorry, I keep poking you. Sorry. Maybe it's time to say goodbye to her. Maybe it's time to let her go. What quality of life will she have? What quality of life? Well, we were reading that dogs that are blind tend to do well. They tend to do well. Doesn't mean they're going to do well. She's a wee-wee pad trained dog. She's always slept in the bed with us. She can't get off the bed now. She can't go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And because of her diabetes, she can't see. She pees every 2 to 3 hours. So we think maybe the diabetes is not under control. She also shows symptoms of Cushing's. If a dog has Cushing's, it's very hard to control the diabetes. There's medication for Cushing's, but her blood work is showing very, very slight. So they won't give medication for it because that could kill her. So instead, we have to deal with her not having stable diabetes. She gets shots. This is what we get. She used to be on human insulin, was half the price. Now she's on this pet Vetselin, and it comes with the needles. And we have to check her PP. We use these strips every day, sometimes twice a day to check. We don't want to check her glucose level, which we could, because we don't want to prick her, because she gets insulin in the back of her neck twice a day, every 12 hours. And sometimes the needle hurts her. And it took us 6 months to be able to do it without her flipping around, jumping out of our arms. The needles were flying. I've jabbed myself several times in the leg with the needle. My husband jabbed himself. She would twist. You have no idea the strength of a tiny little dog when they're scared and they're trying to protect themselves. It was months of heartache, missing the shot, not getting the shot, getting the shot, making her bleed. It was awful. I never had to care for a dog and never thought about that. My other dog, she was sick for about 3-4 months before we had to put her down. Her kidneys were failing. But this is diabetes, and with proper care, she could live. And she's blind. She could still live. But it's extremely exhausting because she gets up and wakes us every 2 to 2.5 hours, sometimes less, sometimes it's 45 minutes, depends on the day. If she has to pee, she taps us in the bed, taps our shoulder, taps our leg. If we don't move, she growls. If she doesn't get us up that way, she starts to bark. It could be 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. I work full time. Thank God my husband's retired. He'll sleep on the couch with her till about 3-4 in the morning, and that's why I go to bed at 8 o'clock. I have to try to get enough sleep because when he comes up at like 3-4 o'clock, it wakes me, and then it's hard for me to fall back to sleep, and I will take her for a 4 o'clock pee run, 5 o'clock pee run, 6 o'clock I'm getting up already to get ready for work. So my days usually start somewhere around 4 in the morning. So if you know me and we're friends and I always say I'm going to bed, or I text you and say I'm getting into bed at 7:30, that's why. We can't go anywhere. We can't go overnight anywhere because she can't stay alone, because she will pee. We get these pads. We have about 4 of them in the kitchen, a couple in the dining room. My husband also, we have these. These are washable. We have these all over the floor, under the dining room table, all over the floor, so he doesn't have to get up all through the night, which he still does, because if she craps, she'll step in it. She can't see. She pees, she steps in it. So we have to always have baby wipes, because we have to catch her when she's on the pad so we can wipe her paws so she doesn't track pee or poop all over my house. We also have yoga mats near the cabinets, on the corners of the walls, across all my counter stools, so she doesn't hit her head when she's walking around. She still hits her head on the chair legs and things like that, but we don't have a choice. I can't bump her everything. So I just do the corners of all the walls and the main things where I think she could really get hurt. We have yoga mats in front of our couches, so when she jumps off, she doesn't get hurt because she loses her balance and she slips. And I have tile floor throughout my whole house. So we have yoga mats all around in front of the couches. So not only is my house full of wee-wee pads and yoga mats, but I'm mopping the floor 2-3 times a day because she misses the pad. It goes into the grout. You need to clean that immediately or your house is going to smell. So we don't go on vacation. We can't go overnight because she won't stay with anyone, not even me. If you've been following me, you will know that she will sit on the couch and howl when my husband leaves, or if he's upstairs sleeping. I try to give him extra time to sleep or nap time on the weekends, and for about an hour she'll be okay, and then she'll start looking for him. She's very attached to him because when we rescued her, he was home, he's retired, I was at work, so she really bonded with him. Are you listening to all this, Mama? Let me give you a kiss. You know we love you. You know we love you. So she's very demanding and very exhausting. Her quality of life is not so bad. She's not in pain. She loves her belly rubbed. She sleeps on her back with her feet up. She plays on the couch. Her quality is not so bad. Our quality is awful. Our quality of life is awful. But this is the commitment we made. She's our child. So I just wanted to give you a little idea of what it cost. We're going to start with her medical bills, her surgery, remove the eyes, her hospital stay, visits to and from the doctor, visits to the local hospital. I had to go to Jersey for the surgery. Came to still to date approximately $37,000 in the last 18 months. You heard that, $37,000. However, we were smart this time. We have pet insurance, Trupanion. I don't know if what is better. We've had it since we got her. And if it wasn't for Trupanion, we might have to remortgage the house. With Trupanion, that doesn't pay for exams and doesn't pay for medication, but paid for the surgery, the hospital stays, any type of sonograms, x-rays, anything like that, paid for all of that. So I'm going to say out of pocket of that $37,000, we've only put out, I'm saying only about $7,000 out of pocket. That's a lot of money if you don't have money. And I'm not saying I have money. We're average middle class people. We don't have money. We don't have that kind of money. If you are very wealthy, then you don't need to pay for dog insurance or cat insurance. We pay about $120 a month, I think, $120 a month. It's a small nut to crack when your pet gets sick and requires care. If you're lucky, your pet will just go to sleep peacefully and God will take them. But that's not how it usually goes. Usually you're back and forth to the vet, you're doing tests, you're getting medication, you're dealing with a lot of medical bills. So, I understand a pet is so important. I get that. I've never been without a pet except for the 3 years in between my other poodle and her. Having a pet is wonderful. Giving love and a home to a pet is wonderful. There's nothing better and nothing more important than giving homes and love to a pet. But you need to think about it. You need to think about what if down the road. What if? Can I afford doggy daycare when I want to go on vacation with my family? Can I afford her special food because she's diabetic and she won't eat it? So my husband cooks for her, and he'll spend hours making meals for 3-4 days, but that's as long as it'll last. Fresh chicken, fresh vegetables, fresh potatoes, steamed, grilled. That's what he does. He cooks for her, and that takes a lot of time. Again, thank God he's retired. What if you're not retired? What if you all work? Who's going to care for a blind diabetic dog that needs insulin every 12 hours? It's so much work you can't even begin to imagine. And again, it's important to have animals and to give animals homes, absolutely. But please don't be one of those families that get a pet because it's JoJo's birthday or Christmas in the Smith's house. Don't just do it on a whim. Understand the responsibility. Understand that in 8 or 9 or 10 years from now, that cute little puppy might be having diarrhea all over your house every day. These are things you need to know. You need to know. We love her. I mean, she's a princess. This dog is treated like no other I've seen. I mean, she's a princess. She sleeps in bed with us. My husband carries her around the house. If she's limping a little bit because she has a little arthritis, we might have to give her gabapentin, medication we got to pay for. You have to think of these things in advance, because nothing is more traumatic than leaving a dog in a hospital or at a vet, or having to make that decision of putting her down just because you can't take care of her, or giving her up or him up. The trauma and the heartache that causes on the animal just because you are selfish and don't want to care for it anymore because it's inconvenient. You're not getting enough sleep. It's costing too much. If that's the kind of person you are, if you like to go on vacations all the time and like to sleep late and don't want to have a commitment and want to fly by the seat of your pants and don't have a very, very huge bank account, then getting a pet is not for you. It's not for you. And I don't mean this I'm not judging anyone. I'm just telling you it's something that needs to be thought out very, very thoroughly. We take such good care of her, she might live another 5 years. And we hope. But I'm going to be honest, don't think I don't go to sleep at night and ask God to either fix her or take her peacefully so she could be with, what do you smell? Yeah, he's here. He's here. You smell him? You want to come and get her? She's getting a little antsy. I ask God to take her. I ask God.
Come here, Mama. Come on.
Go ahead. Where's Daddy? Go to Daddy.
I got you. Okay.
I often ask God to please take her peacefully. I don't want to make that decision. I don't want to be the one to have to say it's time to let her go. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I will if I have to. But right now, her quality of life is pretty good. Mine and my husband's quality of life, not so good. I just want to show you real quickly. Monthly expenditures. Wee Wee pads cost me $100 a month. Sometimes every 3 weeks I'm ordering them. And yes, I get these from Amazon because Costco, that's half the price. Yes, half the price. They're not good. They don't keep the pee in one place. They spread all over. So if you get cheap pads, they're not going to work well. So I have no choice. It makes it less difficult to deal with by spending $100 a month. Insulin and needles, $60 a month. I'm sorry, that's for the human insulin. she was on that, but it wasn't working, so we had to go to the pet insulin called Vetsulin. $140 a month. $140 a month at Costco. If you go to CVS or a pharmacy for the human insulin, it was $200 a month. Thank God for Costco. It was $55, $59 a month, but now she's on Vetsulin, $140 a month at Costco. Baby wipes, $25 a month. I go through these, maybe more. I go through these, I don't know, a pack a week. Just cleaning her paws so she doesn't traipse pee and poop all over my house. Pet strips, about $20 a month to test her urine to see if there's any ketones. Ketones are the most important thing to worry about when your dog has diabetes. And total medical bills approximately, I could be off by a few thousand here or there, $37,000 without pet insurance. Oh my God, I'm at 21. Not so bad. I knew this would be a long video, but I wanted to discuss this and get this information out there. This is hard. This is exhausting. And you made that commitment. You just, please think about it. I don't care if it's a hamster. I don't care. I had a hermit crab. My boys didn't like it anymore because it bit them. So for almost 2 years, I took care of a hermit crab. It's the ugliest thing on the planet. If you don't know what a hermit crab is, Google it. I had to feed it. I had to clean the tank. I had to give it water. It's ugly, but it's a living creature. I wasn't going to just let it die, starve it, dehydrate it. It did eventually pass away. I guess, they just don't have long lifespans in a house, in a tank, maybe in the ocean. But I took a hamster when I worked in a pet shop when I was about 20. He had a big tumor in his belly, and they were going to euthanize it in the pet shop by putting it in a plastic bag. That was my cue. Get the hell out. And I took the hamster.
You forgot to include food expenses.
Oh, well, food. No, I didn't put food.
Special food.
Good idea. Commentary from the back. I did say that. Special food is very expensive. She won't eat the special food, so my husband cooks. I went through all that already. You weren't here. You were at Dunkin' getting your coffee. You didn't hear the video. Anyway, that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this reaches somebody who might be thinking about getting a pet just because they're in the mood this week for a pet. It's a lifetime commitment. It's a lifetime commitment in sickness and in health. So please be aware of that. And I will see you guys soon. And if you're new to my channel and you don't follow luxury, I get that. You don't have to sub. You don't have to come back. If you just came here to listen to me about my pet advice and that type of thing, it was great having you here. But if you have nothing else to do and you like handbags, feel free to subscribe and come back. Bye.